So, first sparkle session done. Been wearing the sparkly jacket. I'm going to recording this while I'm still in the zone to share tomorrow as a round on Friday as a roundup of the event, because not only to fess up about not getting everything perfect, not only did I not take any photographs after thinking I must take photographs for a LinkedIn post after the event of all the gorgeous women who joined, who wore lovely jewellery, sparkly jumpers, kind of made the event a treat for themselves. And I really love the fact that everyone joined and joined with it as a treat for themselves as well as for something useful, because business doesn't have to be all hard work. So not only did I not take a photograph, I forgot to press record as well, despite writing it at the very top. Look, at the very top of my notes. Oh, my notes here. Look, I had it saying record. I had it saying record. Did I? No, I didn't. So I can't share the recording with anyone afterwards. So it was just this one-time event that happened and was absolutely beautiful. And I love the fact that everyone shared questions and everyone shared the energy. Comments that I got included that it was incredibly heartwarming. It was really lovely to hear Marije's journey and her story. So a huge thank you to Marije Passos for sharing about her big dreams and how she's changed course several times, actually, because something really interesting that I took away from, so when in lieu of a recording, something really interesting that I took away is that there's the work and the journey's never done when in life, and just isn't just apply to business, but in life, it isn't that you kind of have this big dream and you kind of think, oh yeah, I will go after it, you do, and then it's done. Actually, then there's more, and there's the next thing and the next thing. So Marije was sharing with us about having, first off, trained as an olive oil sommelier and learning that the olive oil that they were making on her stepfather's farm, although they loved it and they were kind of going for vacations and making it, wasn't at all commercially viable and was in fact the worst, really bad quality. It was classified as lampada, which means basically good for lamp oil. So from learning that to then her husband and her deciding they were going to take over the farm and do this to produce olive oil properly and get all the accreditations and improve the quality. So every year when it's tested, it's certified as being viable to sell, as possible to sell it, because without this testing you're simply not allowed to sell it. So that was the first big change. So they left their careers in the Netherlands, took on this olive oil farm, made that a full-time job, realised that they couldn't sustain themselves on 350 olive trees. So they started a restaurant, and the whole thing was about the olive oil kind of flavours, and her training as an olive oil sommelier meant that the whole restaurant was around that and was around pairing the olive oil and experiencing the different olive oil flavours. And of course then the pandemic happened. So they were kind of doing this for, I don't know, some years before the pandemic. Then the pandemic happened, and their small restaurant in Coimbra in Portugal, there were some tough questions to answer about whether that was viable or not. And actually they also realised that with a small family, they were working all the time and it wasn't the life they wanted. So they kind of, and this was really Marije's vision and her sparkle, she shifted direction towards olive oil tourism. So they have since invested in more land, they grow more olives, they make more oil, but they also invite people onto their farm for tours. They started inviting people in camper vans during the pandemic to come and park up and kind of be on their land. They buy olive oil, and also so she now runs workshops. And her worry that it would get boring, the way kind of her corporate job got boring, has never manifested. And she believes that because she loves what she's doing, she can talk about the olive oil and do the workshops and take people on tours, do that every day, and still love it just as much as she did when she started, which is a real lesson in when you follow your sparkle, when you allow yourself to dream about what you really love to do, then it doesn't get dull. And I think there's kind of two more takeaways that I'd just like to share, which is that Marije has this great ability to say, right, to recognise what it is she really wants and what kind of really she's really passionate about, and then say, I'm going to do that and I'll figure out how along the way. Which I think is something a lot of us could learn from. And I think being in community with other business owners, particularly other women, is really helpful for getting that confidence up to firstly listen to what you really love rather than what you think you should be doing, and then go for it and trust yourself that you'll figure it out along the way. So there's this idea of, how can we get clear on our visions and allow ourselves to connect with what we love? And another client put it to me recently about drowning out the noise. Stop listening to everyone else, and sometimes you have to take yourself away from everyone else to hear to hear about what you really want. And that's some of the work I do with my clients, is giving a space for really listening to what lights you up, really connecting with the things that maybe you haven't quite articulated even to yourself yet, because of all the conditioning and all the expectations that either we have of ourselves or other people put on us, to really quieten the noise of everybody else and pay attention to what nurtures your sparkle. Because if you're following that, then it's going to be way more sustainable for you. It's going to be way more fun for you. You'll draw the right people to you. And you'll be making a life that you love and that's good for the people around you. And you'll be sharing stuff with the world that the world needs to hear. You'll be making the world a better place too. But it starts with us. We need to look after our needs, and we need to do things that we genuinely feel good about, and in ways that we genuinely feel good about first. And from that comes creating positive impact in the rest of the world. So quite a long video for me, but I wanted to try and, as I didn't press record, which I'll be compassionately looking at how I can help myself with that in the future. Because that's the second time I've done that now. I wanted to share some thoughts from the event, and just thank all the gorgeous, gorgeous women who came and spent a bit of time together talking about sparkle. Have a sparkly day. Enjoy my glitter ball. I'm enjoying wearing my jacket. Take care.